wrap it up. Cool. All right, Camille will join us in a couple minutes here. So I've already talked to everybody individually, but congrats and thanks to Camille, Alexi, Matthias, and Nicola for all the hard work on the import rapid action. Great work, great collaboration, great results so far, and look forward to the continued improvement on import project. There's some other folks outside the team that got nominated as well. Their nominations are still going through the process right now, but congrats and thanks. And then, as Josh mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, there is an enablement group conversation following this meeting. So please join if you can, or watch the recording later. Let's see, as I mentioned in team channel, 12.6 is going to close out tomorrow. So I saw some action on the board after I sent out that notification. And I just wanted to, I know I talked to folks individually about the import project and what the goals and timeline are, but again, to recap. So I want to finish up as much as we can by the end of January, especially what we called out in, let me open this up, the priority ordering of the work that we have outlined. So really, I think the biggest impact is going to be these first 4 issues that we called out as far as cutting down time and resource usage on the import. And while we're going through those improvements, we need to make sure that we have a repeatable process that we can measure the improvements so that once we're done, once we're near the end of January, we can report back on the 10X initiative. This is the measurable improvement that we have on import, and we can bundle it up with the improvements that we have on export and all the work that we did on Sidekick so that we can successfully close out the 10X initiative. So I know we have the proof of concept data that we can test with, and for now we can continue to test with that, but we need to have a backup. I know we have a smaller set of large data, small in comparison to the proof of concept data, but we should probably test with both sets if we can no longer use the proof of concept set. Does everybody know what I'm talking about? Cool. All right. So just be sure, like in each of these individual issues, as you record performance improvements, just make sure you add it to the comments so that we can roll it all up at the end of this project. Any questions on any of that? Take that.
I just wanted to add, we also have the project export that the test engineering, the quality engineering team maintains. We've used that for performance testing before. And yeah, so once the big customer import is not available anymore, we can use that. It's just a GitLab export. It might be a couple months old, but we've been using that before.
Yeah, and I think that's what we use to measure our improvements on the export project. So yeah, that's a great test set to use. Cool. All right. Unless anybody has anything they want to cover, I was going to switch over to the board and go through. We talked about this during the retro. Have folks have some time to go through the issues that they're working on. So let's see, going left to right. Camille's not here. Alexi, you want to run through yours real quick?
I am here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, there's Camille. Camille snuck in.
Okay.
Sorry. All right, Camille, go ahead.
Okay, so improve Puma. I'm waiting actually for the production deployment right now. I talked with Jarv and we're gonna, seems there is like 99% chance that we're gonna validate it on Web 01. So I'm expecting this to close. Then like my work gonna be really upstreaming this patch because it's merged in our internal fork. As for the other stuff that I have, I am working on that. I'm now focusing on the atomic processing, and I hope that I'm gonna finish that this week. But I'm effectively like moving all my items to the next milestone. And pretty much, I guess this is the only items that I can finish in this milestone, the next milestone, given like the holidays time. So I hope that I'm gonna finish them.
Okay. Alexi?
So this one is done, and also there was a follow-up for this, and it's also just merged. We just need to update documentation, I guess, and to announce that we changed the process. So I have a thread with Camille, so we'll discuss it. The next one, project import testing at the unit test. I started to add this, but then I found an issue and I moved to the third issue in the row. It's this one, container expiration policy. It is not restored correctly, so I just merged the fix for that. And I'm going back to unit test, but I will probably spend some time trying to drop the edge case that was leading to the issue first, and then we'll return to the coverage. So that's my plan for now.
Okay. So these are likely to carry over to 12.7?
Yes, I already marked them with 12.7.
Okay. Thank you. Continue is not here, unless he snuck in too. All right, Matthias.
Yeah, so batch insert is in progress. I don't, we won't ship it for 12.6, but it's, yeah, making good progress. Like I spent today, I started writing a test suite for it because it was pretty experimental so far. And I already found a number of really subtle bugs that are now squashing. Some of them are tricky. So yeah, making good progress. The next one is the one that has been sitting in like solution verification, I think it's called. Sorry, solution validation for a while. We're basically still waiting for this to happen again so that the customer can come back to us, because the last thing we did was to give them a couple of instructions for what they could do to kind of analyze the situation once it happens again. We have a pretty good lead on a to make this whole process more solid though. That I reviewed an MR today, like Craig Mitchell from it. He made a change that should help more reliably actually kill Sidekick workers if they become unresponsive. Which is basically what the customer who opened this ticket was doing manually when this happened. So yeah, it's also more of like a reactive kind of solution, but it would, help in doing that. So once and there's a couple of infrastructure tickets that are open currently where we believe we are observing a similar issue to the one the customer has been observing. So once we ship that MR and once we find those issues are solved, maybe we can reach out and ask them again, hey, do you want to look at upgrading maybe, because this might be solved, in the latest version of GitLab. Yeah, but until then, there's nothing else there to do. Should I just unassign myself on this because there's no active work?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. And then the last one. Yes. So the last one was it was blocked by an MR that is now live. That went live last week. This is basically a refactoring that was based on another refactoring. And that is unblocked now, but it's flagged for 12.7, so I don't even know if we'll get to this first.
Okay. All right, Nicola.
Hey guys. So the first one, I just started working on it, so I don't have any updates on it. I'm still like investigating it. And regarding the second one, it is currently MR is reviewed by Camille, so I hope that we will be able to merge it soon. And the third one is also done, but the MR is still waiting for a maintainer's review. So again, I hope that it's gonna be merged very soon. This one actually was part of the rapid action, but we removed it. But this one is about those 17 failed relations, so I was hoping that it will get into 12.6, but it's still, we didn't get the approval, so yeah.
What is the problem? Why is it taking so long to get these approvals?
Well, regarding the first one, the strong validate, I didn't work on it since rapid action, so that one is probably fine. But the second one, the conversation went in the wrong direction with Osvaldo. We were trying to figure out why it's happening, and in the end, I cut it and created the follow-up issue where we can maybe spend some more time investigating in this specific case when the the actual line is not found. So maybe we spent a lot of time trying to figure out why it's going on, and maybe the better one was to fix this and then have the separate task that will investigate it. But Osvaldo was worried that we will cover or mask the issue, so I spent a lot of time investigating additional stuff that was not related to this issue.
Okay.
And the last one, I don't know, I should probably unassign myself from it because we moved it to 12.8 and I will probably not work on it anytime soon, I guess.
I'm still wondering about like this idea of mine. If you would maybe spend tomorrow morning on just adding additional file with the GitLab version.
Yeah, sure.
Because like it seems easy, it's just extra file, but you could have additional metadata. I'm gonna create an issue for that. Like we should really like get it done in like 1 hour and merge in like another 1 hour. But at least we're gonna have something to work with in the future, additional data.
Yeah, why not? We can discuss tomorrow during the off Steam hours.
Okay, thanks. Camille, you want to talk about the messaging about Puma? What your thoughts there on release post items?
I don't know exactly what is like the best way to message that, but I'm just expecting that like this problem gonna be resolved, and I'm just wondering like where we should start doing messaging about the Puma, because I'm expecting that we're gonna run like the small scale test right now, like I mean small scale test on the production nodes that are not Canary for the few hours, but like we're gonna pretty likely fall back to running Unicorn for the time of the Christmas, because I don't think that anyone wants to be doing SRS stuff during the Christmas time. So after the new year, I'm just expecting that we're gonna basically start switching the whole GitHub.com to the Puma. And this was something that like in the past would be indicator of that Puma is performing as expected, and we should start doing messaging to our customers and users of the GitHub that we're gonna be doing this transition in some time from now. There is still like this problem with the Ruget patches, and there still seems to be going some discussion about the approach between Chinyu and Jakob. But we're gonna have a meeting tomorrow with you, Josh, as well, to figure out the simplest way to handle that and unblock this discussion. I guess as soon as we resolve these two problems, I think we should start communicating Puma.
Yeah, I agree. I think we want to have it opt-in for like a release and see if we can get some testing from folks who actually like need Rugged, for example, if that's possible. Maybe reach out to like VMware or someone like that to see if they can take one of their nodes and turn it on and see what happens. I think that's my biggest concern, is probably for that batch of people. And then if that looks good, then we can continue to run for as long as we need to and opt in to feel comfortable. Do we have any telemetry on this, by the way? Like any usage ping data coming back on Puma versus Unicorn to see how many folks are actually using it by chance?
You mean on the GitLab site, like from our customers?
Yeah, like as part of the usage ping, so we can determine as part of the opt-in period how many folks have actually tested and opted in versus if no one has, for example.
I don't think that we have anything like that. So just you may want to create an issue for that, and we may want to add that
Yeah, I'm not sure we need it, but it would be nice to just confirm how widely it's being tested in the opt-in phase before we pull the trigger and make it opt-out. But yeah, I'll open an issue we can discuss.
I mean, so far we are running on the dev, like we didn't revert on the dev since it was enabled. We are also running most of the staging right now because like we were testing recently, and we are also running on the Canary right now continuously. So we're actually constantly validating the Puma. From the performance point of view, like this multi-threading problem, seems to be like the last performance problem that we have to tackle. Before, I guess, like the team gonna be fine with rolling that out further on the GitLab.com. But so far, like a lot of try to blame Puma, but it was not Puma to be blamed.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think we're getting really close. I think my concern is just the configurations that our customers use. As you know, there's many different interesting and creative, architectures that our customers use, and that's my only concern is that there's some.
So I guess like with the Puma, this is quite good that we can say just run in the threads number, like one thread, and it works basically exactly the same as Unicorn. So I would assume that this is like our first recommendation for the enterprises that they want to like start using Puma without like being afraid that anything gonna be broken, because it's gonna work exactly the same. And like then we can kind of make them to pick higher numbers.
Gotcha. So you recommend we start off the default of essentially one thread per Puma worker, and then over time try to increase them?
So I mean, like I would say that like ideally you would like to start with like 2 or 3, 4, and I believe that a lot of organizations gonna be like prefer that. But as a fallback for organizations that are reluctant to make any changes, Threads 1 is exactly Unicorn, but using Puma. So we are not blocked on sticking to Unicorn because we can say run Puma in the Threads 1 and it's exactly the same. Except because, like Josh, I think we still haven't talked through exactly who is going to be doing HA documentation update with our zero downtimes. And I believe that this is right now like the major point that blocks us on changing the default to be Puma, not Unicorn. But this, I believe it's couched in the issue about make Puma on by default for everyone, all these things.
Okay. Yeah, I think it sounds reasonable. I think we'll want to just, I'm all in for getting it opt-in as early as possible and having some of this guidance. I think just as you work on making it the default and having it be opt-out, we'll need to think through, sort of the rugged piece, the HA deployment piece, and what the right worker count or thread count should be based on what we come up with on the rugged side and on our other detection and things like that, if that makes sense. So, and we can.
So like even with the rugged today, it's gonna be work just fine with the rugged patches if you set treats to 1.
Yeah, I understood. I'm just saying that when we make it the default, I would rather not have people experience performance impacts if we can avoid it, and then have to figure out why the performance impact is happening, and then apply the change to restore normal usage. So that's what I'm trying to avoid. This is a minor patch. We want folks to continue to upgrade. Some folks have upgrades, well, probably not HA people, but on a cron job.
Yes. So I believe that this is exactly why we should do this messaging sooner, because more people are gonna start running Puma basically today with all these things. So we're gonna have more data, pretty much, and doesn't like all pieces are ready. Like in place. It's only gonna get better.
Yeah, I agree. And so I'm in for making it opt-in, like available and opt-in and advertising it as soon as possible, so we can start to get additional usage for sure.
So how about like we add to the release post information about the opt-in for Puma right now?
Yeah.
It's like it's gonna just get better. A lot of people are gonna be interested. We just document items that we are still working on, and people just gonna start testing that.
Yeah, I agree. We can market it as potentially experimental right now. I think it already in the documentation of GitLab is marked as experimental, and until we get a little more comfort level around GitLab.com, we can leave it that way. But for the release post in 6 days, we can keep it that way for now, and just tell people to try it out and let them know it's coming.
Thank you.
Yeah. I have to drop to just get set up for the GC, but thanks everyone, and I'll be on the call tomorrow so I can talk further about Rugged and Puma. But thanks for the hard work here.
Thanks, Joshua.
All right, we are almost at time. Are there any other topics anybody wants to cover?
I wanted one. If
Okay.
we don't meet next week, happy holidays and happy New Year for everyone. Have a good time. Take a rest, and see you like I guess next year.
Yeah, it looks like if we meet next week, it'll be me and Nicola and Alexi. That's it. So.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
See ya.
Thanks.
See ya.